Famously, LGBTQ youth have been underrepresented and discriminated against for centuries. They have been slaughtered for being open about their identity, shunned by society, and in some places can get arrested or even be put to death just for being queer. Being gay is illegal in 69 countries. Even in the countries where it is legal, there are laws in place which make it easier to discriminate against LGBTQ people, make it harder for trans youth to transition, and criminalize the discussion of being gay in schools. Although there is significantly more representation in the media now than ever before, there's such a long way to go in order for queer and trans youth to feel safe and accepted in their environment. That is my goal for this project, to bring awareness to the negative aspects of being a part of the LGBTQ+ community at a young age, and to advocate for the acceptance and human rights of those within this community who may not have a voice. Statistically, LGBTQ youth are more likely to show symptoms of depression and anxiety. They are even more likely to self-harm and commit suicide than non-LGBT teens. This has been a widely known fact for years. However, little is being done to change this. In fact, we are moving backward in terms of acceptance and accessibility to healthcare. To show this, more than 60% of LGBTQ youth who were surveyed who needed mental health care reported that they were not able to access the help that they needed. This is because of the lack of acceptance these kids have within their community, and the stigma we still have surrounding the LGBTQ+ community. Being a member of the LGBTQ community is not negatively affecting the youth, but rather those who push their personal beliefs onto them, and these statistics show this. Lawmakers in America are making this discrimination and harassment easier. They are implementing laws that actively harm our gay and trans youth. For example, there are currently 14 states in America who have laws in place that ban trans students from participating in a sport category that matches their gender identity, and there are 4 states that are restricting or banning trans youth's access to gender-affirming healthcare. Keep in mind, this gender-affirming healthcare doesn't just mean surgery. This also includes banning or restricting access to puberty blockers, which are completely reversible, or hormone replacement treatment, even with a medical professional diagnosing them with gender dysphoria and strongly advising these as a form of treatment. One widely known anti-LGBTQ law that has recently been passed and has already faced a whole lot of backlash from the LGBTQ+ community is the Don't Say Gay bill that was passed in Florida in March 2022. This law banned any discussion of sexual orientation or gender identity in schools for kindergarten through 3rd grade. This would mean that children with 2 moms or 2 dads wouldn't be able to discuss their parents or their home life. LGBTQ+ children wouldn't be able to mention their identity or even question it. Not being able to discuss or even know about gay or trans people is what contributes to the limited understanding of children and eventually teens and adults. This contributes to the presence of homophobia and transphobia in schools, since naturally people are scared of what they don't understand. There are even more anti-LGBTQ+ bills that are trying to be passed currently, with 400 bills being introduced in 2021, 300 in 2022, and already 124 introduced in 2023 so far. These numbers are not going to decline unless we speak out and make our voices heard. We have made tremendous progress in the past decade, with the federal legalization of gay marriage and societal progress as well. However, these statistics show that we still have so much more progress to be made. As long as there are people trying to pass these discriminatory laws, we must continue to fight back. Besides the budding legal restrictions and pro-discrimination laws that are currently being passed that are damaging LGBTQ youth, we are still not in a place socially where queer and trans youth can feel fully accepted, safe, and loved. Across the country, many children are being kicked out of their home for just expressing their identity. The rate of homelessness for LGBTQ youth is disturbing, with 28% of LGBTQ youth reporting to have experienced home instability or homelessness due to their identity. This is according to studies outlined by the Trevor Project. Additionally, within this 28%, only 23% were cisgender members of the community, while the remainder, 77%, were transgender or non-binary individuals. 14% of these people said they were kicked out, while 16% ran away from home, with 55% of those reporting they ran away due to mistreatment or fear of mistreatment from family members due to their identity. This data illustrates how our society is still not fully accepting of LGBTQ individuals. LGBTQ youth with unsupportive parents risk an unstable home environment, which can have disastrous effects on the development of these kids and teens during pivotal moments in their life. Additional data from the same study outlined by the Trevor Project has proven that youth, specifically LGBTQ youth, experience higher rates of mental illness and mental health struggles, including depression, anxiety, self-harm, and suicidal thoughts when experiencing home instability or homelessness. A different study from The Conversation discussed the disturbing rate of violent hate crimes that are inflicted upon many LGBTQ individuals, with an annual average of 6.6 violent hate crimes per every 1,000 LGBTQ people. Additionally, almost 50% of LGBTQ victims who reported violent hate crimes knew their attacker as either a close friend or a family member. Our unaccepting, violent, and discriminatory behavior is severely damaging our youth, with them experiencing higher rates of mental health struggles and victimization due to how our society treats them. 9 out of 10 LGBTQ students have reported experiencing harassment and bullying within the last year, and gay youth are 8.4 times more likely to attempt suicide than their straight peers. All of this data shows the immense struggles LGBTQ teens and children have to deal with daily that we have inflicted on them due to our society's unaccepting nature and the unwillingness to learn. This is our fault. We as a society have created an incredibly violent, unaccepting, and unsafe environment for these kids to grow up into. The social discomfort that LGBTQ people face every day, the legal hurdles and restrictions they must face. We are to blame for their constant hardships, and we have to rebuild a safer environment. We need to continue on with social progress until everyone, no matter race, gender identity, sexual orientation, religion, or otherwise, all feel safe to be themselves openly without fear of harassment, bullying, or bodily harm. I urge you to do what you can to help improve the acceptance of LGBTQ people in our world and make your voices heard in any way that you can. A very good way to do this if you're still in school is to advocate for your GSA club at your school. This stands for Gay Straight Alliance, and this is a type of club where people of all identities and sexualities can come together and reflect on personal experiences, as well as ways to improve the school. It is an excellent place for young queer people to feel heard and accepted. You can go to your principal or administrator and request a GSA be implemented into your school. However, if that does not work, there are plenty of other options to help improve your community's acceptance of the LGBTQ+ community. If you are 18 years old or older, you can notify your state representative of these problems and to urge them to fight for equality and against the plethora of discriminatory bills they are trying to pass. Additionally, you can attend protest or start a protest in your school or community if they have implemented discriminatory practices, such as a ban on pride flags. These are all very hands-on approaches. However, there are ways you can make a difference and make your voice heard without doing something as extreme as beginning a protest. You can raise awareness to your friends and family who may not know or understand the importance of creating a more accepting environment. Or you can simply help boost others' voices who are speaking out against these policies if you are not in a safe environment to speak out yourselves. You can do this by interacting with videos such as this, or signing petitions which aim to stop or limit discriminatory laws. I have linked some good petitions you could sign in the description. Every bit helps. Finally, if you are struggling with severe mental health issues, self-harm, or suicidal thoughts, please contact the suicide hotline. You can text or call the number 988 and know that you are not alone. If you are struggling with harassment or bullying, notify a guardian or a trusted adult. If you have been a victim of a hate crime, contact your local police department. Feel free to discuss personal experiences in the comments below if you have been struggling with personal issues because of your identity. And remember, we can make a difference.